Hey guys, so in this video I want to show you how you can use Microsoft Excel to solve some of the kinds of problems you might see in Chapter 4C of Quantitative Reasoning. So we're going to do this question here. So let's say so-and-so deposits $75 every month into a savings account earning 4% APR. What will their balance account be after 35 years? So first, we want to make sure we're familiar with what type of formula we would need for this. And if you haven't already, I would suggest that you go to the Student Success Commons Online, go to our math section. We have a page just for QR. I would bookmark this. There you go, bookmark it. Got it. Okay, cool. And the reason I'm having you do that is because we have resources for every chapter here, including chapter 4. And you can see we have links to different video tutorials. We have a couple of calculators online to help you check your work, but we also have notes and examples. And we have this for all of the chapters you're going to work with. So we're in chapter 4. I'm going to open up the notes and examples. And this is all of chapter 4. It has all the variables. We start with 4A. The question we're working on now is 4C, savings plan and investments. So you can see all the different definitions, some examples, and then you will also see a section for the formulas. So if we are looking for the savings plan balance when regular payments are made, this is the basic formula right here. Payment times this delightful complex number here. We have to do 1 plus the periodic rate times, or to the power of the number of periods per year times the years minus 1, and the whole thing divided by the periodic rate again. So you can certainly do this on virtually any calculator. I do not recommend using like a cell phone. You can do it if you know how to use parentheses in the proper place. But we're going to use Excel, and the two reasons for this are, one, you'll be able to see the whole formula, the whole expression written out to double check that all the numbers are correct. And two, you can't do any rounding, or you don't want to do any rounding for these problems unless the homework question specifically tells you you can. So for example, for the problem that we had on the screen, let me open up my calculator here. We had an APR of 4%. So as a decimal, that's 0.04. And we were doing monthly payments. So we would divide that by n of 12. And we get 0.003 repeating. Now, because this is a repeating 3, a lot of people might just write just the first one, or maybe the first 2 3s. But doing that is rounding, and that's going to change your final answer. And you don't want to do that unless, of course, the problem did tell you to round. Most of the time, they'll say something like, do not round to the final answer. So we're going to approach this problem as if those are the instructions. So this is another good reason why I don't recommend doing it on this kind of calculator or on your phone, and we can use something like Excel instead. And Excel it's available to all YCCC students, and I'm going to walk you through how we do that, or how we can use it right now. So let's open up Excel. I'm going to go into a blank cell in the formula bar. I'm going to do equals, and I'm going to start typing the different parts of the problem. Ideally, you'll have the problem up with you. I might flip back and forth if I need to, so I can remember the numbers. Oops. So 75 is the payment amount, and that is being multiplied. And to get the multiplication, you can use the asterisk, which is it's the 8. You have to do Shift 8 on a Windows. So 75 times, and then I need double parentheses, and I'm going to do 1 plus my APR in its decimal form, divide by, which is just a slash, 12, close parentheses. I'm going to do Shift 6 to get the caret key to indicate that I'm going to do an exponent next. And I'm going to do parentheses because I do have 2 numbers for my exponent. I have 12, which is n, times 35, which is the number of years. I will close parentheses. And then I'm going to subtract 1, do another closing parenthesis, and then I'm going to divide by parentheses, 0.04, divide by 12, close parentheses, and I'm going to get my answer right there in that box. And then I can go ahead and if I click on the box in the formula bar, I can double check. Did I get my numbers right? Did I match the formula? So I've got 75 times the double parentheses, this first one here, and this one here, indicate that everything in between is part of the numerator, which should match up with our formula. I can open the formula back up. Let me go back to my formula sheet here. It had 1 plus r, the periodic rate, and y minus 1, and that's what we do have here. 1 plus the periodic rate, power of ny minus 1, and then divide by the periodic rate again. So this is our answer, and this one, 68,529.82. This one we would round. This is our final answer, so they would probably say maybe round to the nearest cent. And if they did, my answer would be $68,529.82. And I would only round right here at the end after I had done the whole thing. If I had done it rounding beforehand, if I had used the, for instance, if I change it up and I use 0.003 because that's what we got on the little calculator when we rounded. If I use that instead, sometimes you'll only get a slightly different answer and it won't make a difference. And then other times your answer is going to be off enough that the computer program you use for your math is going to be like, that's not right. And you can see that this one, by rounding and putting in the 0.003, the answer is quite different. Instead of 68,000, this is only 62,000. So be careful not to round. If you have a TI-84 or another kind of graphing calculator you're more comfortable with, you can go ahead and use that. You can use Desmos online. That's a free calculator you can use. But I usually recommend Excel because it's available to all students. And it does take a little getting used to if you haven't used it very much, but we do have more tutorials like this on our website, or actually on our YouTube channel. And you can always request support from the math tutors on how to use Excel to do certain calculations. So please feel free to do that. If you want to see how to use like a TI-84 to do this instead, TI-84 is my typical go-to calculator, this fella. If you want to see how to use this, if you have one and you want to know how you would do it on your own calculator, you can let me know in the comments. But generally, I do recommend Excel because it's available, it works, and it prevents you from having to round and get the incorrect number. So hopefully this video was helpful, and I will wish you luck.